Okay, so before we jump into some more OSPF configurations, we just want to have a quick look at creating trace logs or debugging on the logical systems itself, because if you're going into any further sorts of OSPF configuration, it might be very handy to be able to debug, if you have any particular problems. So let's have a look here at, I'm in the master configuration, so let's do show log messages. Oh, I should just show log question mark. Now you'll notice here that when you create a logical system, it automatically puts that logical system's own logs are automatically created, so you can actually view what's in there. So if I do show log and do say core and then press the question mark, see there's nothing actually in there, it's empty, there's nothing there at all. However, what we can do, we can set a trace log and have it say, and it will automatically be saved in the corresponding directory for the logical system. So let's do set CLI logical system core. Okay, so we're in the core now, so let's go into configuration mode and let's go into, let's do edit protocols, let's do OSPF, and of course you can do this for any particular options that have the trace options enabled. So we do set and question mark and scroll down, and as we can see we have our trace options here. So we do trace options and then another question mark, and it's going to ask us, do we want to apply any flags, so only do checks on specific parts of the headers, or if we just want to log everything to a file. So we do a file and we'll give it a file name. We'll do core OSPF and press enter and then commit and quit. Okay, so if we do now, let's come out of here, let's go clear CLI logical systems and let's do a show log core and do a question mark, and now we see we have our core OSPF, so I can actually type that in there and it will show us what's in that actual file. Now nothing specific has happened on the OSPF protocol at the moment. However, if I was to do clear, let's have a look, clear OSPF neighbor, let's do logical neighbor all logical system core. So I'm going to tell it to clear all the OSPF neighborships on the core logical system. Now if we try to look at that file, there we go, we see we have all of the OSPF neighborship information that's gone down, that's come back up again. What we can also do, we can still do the same thing. We can do monitor start. Oops, sorry, monitor start, and you need to put the file's path. So in this case, it's going to be core, and it's going to be core OSPF. So now it's monitoring in real time. So if I clear the actual log again, clear the OSPF neighborship again on the core, which I have, there you go, you see now in real time it's coming up in the actual CLI itself, which is pretty fantastic. And if you want to stop that, you just do monitor stop. Fantastic. Okay, so you can actually view these again in the actual logical system itself. So set CLI logical system core, and let's do show log question mark, and you notice that we have our core OSPF is already there. See, because we're logged into the core router, the virtual core router, when we go into the log, it's automatically put us into that hierarchy that belongs to this particular router. And you can do the same, you can do monitor as well. So if you want to do a live monitor, so let's say you're configuring your OSPF, your ISIS, your BGP or whatever, and you set your trace options to start with, you can just put the monitor start, and as I've just done now, and you can start doing your configurations, especially if you're doing things like, let's say you're doing authentication. You'll then start seeing if there's any problems straight away. So it's a pretty powerful commands to actually use, is to have the monitor going on while you're doing configurations. Very excellent. Let's get out of here. See, what you can also do, you can do show log messages and match only for, say, one of the logical systems. Let's do core for argument's sake, and this is done in the master configuration, the master operator mode, and it shows us everything that's been happening only for the core. It's not showing me anything else because I've filtered it down using the match core. You can actually do the match core and the two colons and RPD for the routing daemon. Okay, so I thought that might be a very interesting thing for you to quickly go through before we move on to anything else. What we'll have a look at in the next video is how to set up users. So you can set users up, like login users, that when they log in, they can only log into automatically one of the logical systems. So you might not want users logging in, because as you see, I'm logged in as root, so obviously I've got full access, which is great. But if I'm in the company and I only want people to be able to access certain parts or like certain logical systems, I can set users up that only access certain logical systems when they log in. And we'll go through that in the next video. And then after that, we'll carry on with doing a bit more OSPF, doing some authentication and whatnot.